Good evening. It is March 29th, and tonight we are going to be reading in Deuteronomy 11:1 through 12:32, Luke 8:22 through 39, Psalms 71 through 5, and Proverbs 12:4. So, if you've been reading along with me, we are in Deuteronomy. They have been in the promised land. They have been in the wilderness. They're about to enter the promised land. They've been given the Ten Commandments, and that's kind of where the story leads off. So, before we get started, we are going to say the Lord's Prayer. So join in with me if you don't know it. Um, Hopefully, we'll teach you here. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory forever and ever. Amen. Deuteronomy 11:1 through 12:32. So love God your God. Let's make sure we're going here. Okay. So love God your God, guard well his rules and regulations, obey his commandments for the rest of time. Today it's very clear that it isn't your children who are in front and center, that who are front and center here. They weren't in on what God did, didn't see the acts, didn't experience the discipline, didn't marvel at his greatness, the way he displayed his power in miracle signs and deeds that he let loose in Egypt on Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and all the land. The way he took care of the Egyptian army, its horses and chariots, burying them in the waters of the Red Sea as they pursued you. God drowned them, and you're standing here today alive. Nor was it your children who saw how God took care of you in the wilderness up until the time you arrived here. What he did to Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, sons of Reuben, hear the earth, how the earth opened its jaws and swallowed them with their families, their tents, and everything around them, right out in the middle of Israel. Yes, it was you, your eyes, that saw everything that God did. So it's you who are in charge of keeping the entire commandment that I command you today, so that you'll have the strength to invade and possess the land that you are crossing the river to make your own. Your obedience will give you a long life on the soil that God promised to give your ancestors and their children, and a land flowing with milk and honey. The land you are entering to take up ownership isn't like Egypt, the land you left, where you had to plant your own seed and water it yourselves as its vegetable garden. But the land you are about to cross the river, but the land you are about to cross the river and take for your own is the land of mountains and valleys. It drinks water that rains from the sky. It's a land that God your God personally tends. He's the gardener. He alone keeps his eye on it all year long. From now on, if you listen obediently to the commandments that I've commanded you today, love God, your God, and serve him with everything you have within you, he'll take charge of sending the rain at the right time, both autumn and spring rains, so that you'll be able to harvest your grain, your grapes, your olives, and he'll make sure there's plenty of grass for your animals. You'll have plenty to eat, but be vigilant, lest you be seduced away and end up serving and worshiping other gods, and God erupts in anger and shuts down heaven so there's no rain and that nothing grows in the fields. And in no time at all you're starved out. Not a trace, no time at all, you'll all starve out. Not a trace of you left on the good land that God is giving you. Place these words on your hearts, get them deep inside you, tie them to your hands and foreheads as a reminder. Teach them to your children, talk about them wherever you are, sitting at home or walking in the street. Talk about them from the time you get up in the morning until you fall into bed at night. Inscribe them on the doorposts and gates of your cities so that you'll live a long time, and your children with you on the soil that God promised to give you, your ancestors, for as long as there is sky over the earth. That's right. If you diligently keep this commandment that I command you to obey, love God your God, do what he tells you, stick close to him, God on his part will drive out all the nations that stand in your way. Yes, he'll drive out nations much bigger and stronger than you. Every square inch on which you place your foot will be yours. Your borders will stretch from wilderness to the mountains of Lebanon, from the Euphrates to the Mediterranean Sea. No one will be able to stand in your way. Everywhere you go, God sent fear and trembling will precede you, just as He promised. I brought you today to the crossroads of of blessings and curse. The blessing, if you listen obediently to the commandments of God, your God, which I command you today. The curse, if you don't pay attention to the commandments of God, your God, but leave the road that I command you today, following other gods on which you know nothing. Here's what comes next. When God, your God, brings you into the land you are going into to make your own, you are to give out the blessings from Mount Gerizim and the curse from Mount Ebal. After you cross the Jordan River, follow the road to the west through Canaanite settlements in the valley near Gilgal at the Oaks of Moreh. You are crossing the Jordan River to invade and take the land that God your God is giving you. Be vigilant, observe all the regulations and rules I'm setting before you today. These are the rules and regulations that you must diligently observe for as long as you live in the country that God, your God of your fathers, has given you to possess. Ruthlessly demolish all the sacred shrines where the nations that you're driving out worship their gods. Wherever you find them, on hills and mountains, in groves or green trees, tear apart their altars, smash their phallic pillars, burn their sex and religion Asherah shrines, break up the carved gods, obliterate the names of those god sites. Stay clear of those places. When don't let what went on there contaminate the worship of God your God. Instead, find the site that God your God will choose and mark it with his name as a common center for all the tribes of Israel. Assemble there. Bring to that place your absolute offering and sacrifice, your tithes and tribute offerings, your vow offerings, your freewill offerings, and your firstborn of your herds and flocks. Feast there in the presence of God your God. Celebrate everything that you and your families have accomplished under the blessings of God your God. Don't continue doing things the way you are doing them at present, each of us doing as we wish. Until now, you haven't arrived at the goal, the resting place, the inheritance that God your God is giving you. But the minute you cross the Jordan River and settle into the land God your God is enabling you to inherit, you'll give he'll give you rest from all your surrounding enemies. You'll be able to settle down and live in safety. From then from then on, at the place that God your God chooses to mark with his name as the place where you can meet him. Bring everything that I command you, your absolution offering and sacrifices, tithes and tribute offerings, and the best of your vow offerings that you vow to God. Celebrate there in the presence of God your God, you and your sons and daughters, your servants and maids, including the Levite living in your neighborhood, because he has no place of his own in your inheritance. Be extra careful. Don't offer your absolution offering just any place that strikes your fancy. Offer an absolution offering only in a place that God chooses in one of your tribal regions. There and only there are you to bring all that I command you. It's permissible to slaughter your non-sacrificial animals like gazelle and deer in your towns, and eat all that you want from them, with the blessings of God your God. Both the ritually clean and unclean may eat, but you may not eat the blood. Pour the blood out on the ground like water, nor may you eat there the tithe of your grain, new wine or olive oil, nor the firstborn of your herds and flocks, nor any of the vow offerings that you vow, nor your free will offerings and tribute offerings. All these must eat in the presence of God, your God, in the place God your God chooses. You, your son and daughter, your servant and maid, and the Levite who lives in your neighborhood, you are to celebrate in the presence of God, your God, all the things you've been able to accomplish, and make sure that for as long as you live on your land, you never neglect the Levite. When God your God expands your territory as he promised he would do, and you say, I'm hungry for meat because you happen to be craving meat at that time, go ahead and eat as much meat as you want. If you're too far away from that place of God, your God, he marked with his name, it's all it's all right to slaughter animals from your herds and flocks that God has given you, as I've commanded you. In your own towns, you must eat as much of them as you want. just as the non-sacrificial animals like the gazelle and the deer are eaten. You may eat them, the ritually unclean and clean may eat them. Unclean and clean may eat them at the same table. Only this, absolutely no blood, don't eat the blood. Blood is life, don't eat the life with the meat. Don't eat it. Pour it out on the pour it out on the ground like water. Don't eat it. Then you'll have a good life. You and your children after you, by all means, do the right thing in God's eyes. And this, lift high your holy offerings and your vow offerings, and bring them to the place God designates. Sacrifice your absolution offerings, the meat and blood, on the altar of God your God. Pour out the blood of the absolution offering on the altar of God your God. Then you can go ahead and eat the meat. Be vigilant, listen obediently to these words that I command you, so that you'll have a good life, you and your children, for a long, long time, doing what is good and what is right in the eyes of God your God. When God your God cuts off the nations whose lands you land, when God your God cuts off the nations whose land you are invading, shoves them out of the way so that you displace them and settle in their land. Be careful that you don't get curious after about them after they've been destroyed before you. Don't get fascinated with their gods, thinking, I wonder what it was like for them worshiping their gods. I'd like to try that myself. Don't do this to God, your God. They commit every imaginable abomination with their gods. God hates it all with a passion when they even set their children on fire as offerings to their gods. Diligently do everything I command you, the way I command you. Don't add to it, don't subtract from it. I'm going to read that part again. Diligently do everything I command you, the way I command you, and don't add to it and don't subtract from it. That is a highlight moment. Diligently do everything I command you, the way I command you. Don't add to it and don't subtract from it. I think so many times we think, I got this, God. I'll take care of it. Nah, it's a big fat mistake. Breakdown of Deuteronomy 11:1 through 12:32. Moses is laying it down clearly. Love God, obey him, and you'll be blessed. Disobey, and you'll pay for it. He reminds Israel, you've seen God move. Don't forget it. Then he shifts to focus. Tear down every false god. Don't mix worship. Worship God his way, not yours. The takeaway: obedience isn't optional, and partial obedience is still disobedience. God wants loyalty, not leftovers. Ouch. Stepping on toes, folks. Luke 8:22 through 39. One day, he, Jesus, and his disciples got in a boat. Let's cross the lake, he said, and off they went. It was smooth sailing, and he fell asleep. A terrific storm came up suddenly on the lake. Water poured in, and they were about to capsize. They woke Jesus. Master, Master, we're going down. We're going to drown. Getting to his feet, he told the wind, silence, and the waves, quiet down, and they did. The lake became smooth as glass. Then he said to his disciples, why can't you trust me? They were in absolute awe, staggering and stammering. Who is this anyway? He calls out to the winds and sea, and they do what he tells them. They sailed on to the country of the Gerasenes, directly opposite Galilee. As he stepped out onto the land, a madman from town met him. He was a victim of demons. He hadn't worn clothes for a long time, nor lived at a home. He lived in the cemetery. When he saw Jesus, he screamed, fell before him, and howled, what business do you have messing with me? You're Jesus, Son of the High God, but don't give me a hard time. The man said this because Jesus had started to order the unclean spirit out of him. Time after time, the demons threw the man into convulsions. He had been placed under constant guard and tied with chains and shackles, but crazed and driven wild by the demon, he would shatter the bonds. Jesus asked him, what is your name? Mob. My name is Mob. He said, Mob. That's how appropriate is that? Is that why they call them mobs mobs of people? Is that really where that name comes from? That's an aha moment. Crazy mobs. Wow. Mine. Hang on. My name is Mob. Wow. fast. Okay. Mob. My name is Mob, he said, because many demons afflicted him, and they begged Jesus desperately not to order them into the bottomless pit. A large herd of pigs was grazing and rooting in a nearby hill. The demons begged Jesus to order them into the pigs. He gave the order. It was even worse for the pigs than for the man. Crazed, they stampeded over a cliff into a lake and drowned. Those tending the pigs, scared to death, bolted and told the story in town and country. People went out to see what had happened. They came to Jesus and found the man from whom the demons had been sent, sitting there at Jesus' feet, wearing decent clothes and making sense. It was a holy moment, and for a short time they were more reverent than curious. Then those who had seen it happened told. Sometimes the Bible, that just it needs to simplify the way they just put things. Then those who had seen it happen told how, should have been a comma there, told how the demoniac had been saved. Then those who had seen it happen told how the demonic had been saved. Later, a great many people from the Gerasene countryside got together and asked Jesus to leave. Too much change, too fast, and they were scared. So Jesus got back on the boat and set off. The man whom he had delivered from the demons asked to go with him, but he sent him back, saying, Go home and tell everything God did for you. So he went back and preached all over town everything that Jesus had done for him. The breakdown of Luke 8:22 through 39. Two powerful moments showing Jesus' authority. The storm calmed, even nature obeys him. Demons possessed, man freed, even darkness submits to him. Ouch. The disciples ask, Who is this? That's the right question. Then the healed man wants to follow Jesus, but Jesus says, Go home and tell what God has done. The takeaway says Jesus doesn't just rescue you, he gives you a mission. Your story is your assignment. That's where I'm at. My story is my assignment. Psalm 71 through 5. God, please hurry to my rescue. God, come quickly to my side. Those who are out to get me, let them fall all over themselves. Those who relish my downfall, send them down a blind alley. Give them a taste of their own medicine. Those gossips off clucking their tongues. Let those on the hunt for you sing and celebrate. Let all who love your saving way say over and over, God is mighty. But I've lost it. I'm wasted. God, quickly, quick to my side, quick to my rescue. God, don't lose a minute. The breakdown of Psalms 71 through 5 says, This is urgent, raw prayer. God, hurry, help me now. David isn't polished, he's real. The takeaway says, You don't need perfect words, you need genuine dependence. God responds to urgency and humility. I had a talk with the new mentor of mine, Jeff Fava, today about humility. That was good. Proverbs 12:4. A hearty wife invigorates her husband, but a frigid woman is cancer to the bones. I had a conversation with the missus tonight about this. I'm so grateful for her. Proverbs 12:4. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband. A strong, honorable woman builds her man up. A destructive one tears everything down. The takeaway, who you're connected to will elevate your life or erode it. Choose wisely. If no one told you today, I love you. Thank you for hanging out with me for just about 20 minutes tonight. 19 minutes. So thank you. Have a better than good evening. We will see you tomorrow. It will be March 30th. Can't believe this whole first quarter is almost over. It's almost the end of March. I love you. If you're not yet, subscribe, click that little button, share it with folks. We're going to get through the Bible in a year together. We can do this. I appreciate you and I love you, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Have a good night. Be safe.